Hey guys! School is back in full swing for me, and I thought I would share with you 3 of my tips for taking great notes. Note-taking is something that is very, very personal, and everyone has their own methods and way of doing things. So if you have any advice that you'd like to share, feel free to leave a comment down below. I'd love to hear what you guys do with your note-taking. But today I'm just going to share with you 3 things that I personally have found is super useful when taking notes. The first tip I have for you guys is to make your notes interactive. By interactive, I mean make your notes in a testable format, because taking a practice test or quizzing yourself on definitions or the information that you know you will be tested on in the future is very, very effective, at least for me personally. And so this can be done with flashcards, or it can be done with Cornell notes, which I don't personally use, but I know a lot of people like to do that, where in the left margin you just ask questions and in the right part of the page you just write the information. You can also use summary foldables, and you guys have actually seen these particular ones from my summer study routine video. These are for my AP government class, where I have all of the amendments to the US Constitution on one side, and on the other side I have a definition of what each amendment did, and I can cover up either side and quiz myself either term first or definition first. And I actually adapt that method into a small little vocabulary notebook. If you guys have seen my fastest way to take notes video, you guys already know all about this method that I used for AP biology last year. I'm using it again for my AP government class, where I have the left page for the term and the right page for the definition and significance of that term. So I can really just flip back and forth, and I have all of my vocabulary in one place where I can really just test myself really, really easily. So my next tip for you guys is to make it easier for you to study your notes later. By this, I mean a couple of things. First of all, you can use the skeleton of the textbook to your advantage. These are outlines that I made for my AP Psychology textbook when I took the class, and actually I used the headers straight out of the textbook. Both the dark green and light green headers and subheaders are actually from the textbook, and that first of all made my note-taking very, very quick, and I could easily reference the textbook back if I wanted to check a specific section and see what information I pulled out of that section. And then for AP Biology, I actually really took it a step further, and I numbered each subsection of the chapter. Like for chapter 10, I had 10.3, 10.4, 10.5, etc. And I actually corresponded that between my vocabulary journal, where I just had the vocab, as well as the outlines that I used in my composition notebook. And having the link between the two and the link from those two to the textbook made it really easy for me to reference the book itself if I ever needed to. And I could also really check specific sections of specific vocabulary. In order to make it easier for you to study later, it's also really useful to have specific colors that you use, so to make it easier for you to visually separate information. I used the cooler toned colors to write conclusions or really important information, and the warmer colors for vocab, and so I was easily able to separate information out, and it was easy for me to study later to see what was really important. This last tip is to switch up your methods based on the class or subject that you're taking. You aren't really going to be able to use the exact same note-taking techniques for every class, and that's totally fine. It's also really important to kind of switch up your methods so it really keeps you engaged and keeps you interested and motivated in your subjects. For example, in math, I don't rewrite all my notes out into an outline format like I would for a science class. In this particular calculus class, I'm given all of the printouts of our PowerPoint, so I always just write in the margins and highlight important things, and that works really, really well for me. And in my AP government class, I'm given focus questions to go through the textbook reading. So instead of writing out an outline of the textbook, I use a similar method to my vocabulary journal, where I just write the question on one side, and on the other side of the notebook, I write out detailed answers in bullet points and use arrows and put in little pieces of paper and all sorts of things. So that serves as my outline for the textbook, and I'm given those questions on quizzes later. So I think that having this testable format works for that particular class. And then for my AP Literature class, of course, it's completely different. Most of our note-taking is actually just in the form of annotations within the novels that we study. And if you guys want a updated version of how I annotate my books, definitely let me know by giving this video a thumbs up, and I will definitely film that for you guys in the future. But again, just make sure that you're not focused on doing the exact same thing for every class. Switching up your methods is totally okay, and I really hope that some of you guys found something useful in this video. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my YouTube channel because I post videos every Wednesday and Sunday. You can add me on Snapchat and follow me on Instagram and my Tumblr account. Bye guys!